I'm honored to be here today, and especially to introduce my oldest cousin, Michael West. We have such a history together. Obviously, the strength of our family history. Mike and I have talked about this. Mike grew up in a family where his dad wasn't a member of the church, and my dad used to go and pick him up and take him to priesthood. And we've talked about the memories of that. And my dad loved photography, and Mike loved photography, and they shared that passion together. But from a business perspective, I've spent most of my career in large corporate life in the financial service industry. And Mike is somebody that has run a family-operated, multi-generational business. And so through the years, we've had opportunities to talk with each other about business-related subjects. And there was even a point after the Los Angeles riots where there was a special program that was offered through Bank of America that I was able to offer some assistance to Mike and his business. I am really excited today to hear about the new adventure that Mike is involved with. Sometimes we focus in our studies here at BYU-Hawaii, and we're into the theoretical aspects, learning skills, talking about things in theory. People who are involved in the business community, like Mike has been throughout his entire working career, are the people that are the soldiers that are out there performing those business activities that we talk about in the classroom every day. So with a warm welcome, can we give a hand to Mike West?
Aloha. As we say in California, hi. Excited to be here, and I think this is very important. Not that I'm important, not even a little bit, but you're important. And I think this whole program and what Brother Tanner here has created is, I think, is going to show huge dividends as time goes on. I believe in the law of the harvest. What the law of the harvest isn't, plant today and harvest tomorrow. That's not the law of the harvest. It's long range. It's learning. It's taking things one step at a time. And so what's going to happen here I know with you people, you come here to learn, and then you're going to return to your home state or country or wherever it is that you're from, and then you're going to earn. You're going to be able to raise family. People in business have to learn leadership. Leadership is absolutely translatable into helping run the kingdom of Heavenly Father's church here upon the earth. And I think it's all good. I want to congratulate you for being here, and hope that you're hungry to learn, and because it's all about getting experiences and growing. I would also like to welcome you potential future business creators to the Golden Age of Entrepreneurship, which we're into. Excuse me. The Golden Age of Entrepreneurship, which we are in today. You'd have to be a little bit older than you are to help appreciate how wonderful it is today. Now, in my own little family business that was started by my grandfather in 1922, and my dad bought his father out in the 50s, and I bought him out in the 80s. But in the residential plumbing emergency service, which is our industry, the way you went to market and the way you gathered customers was pretty simple and also pretty frustrating. It was the yellow pages. There was one yellow page directory. You put an ad in. Your ad in is based upon your end date. So if all the other companies had been there long before you, that was it. You just had to wait. And the people that wanted to grow and get ahead in the yellow pages, the only way to do that would be to buy the company that's ahead of you. So way different than what's possible today. It's so exciting as far as what technology has brought us today. And so I want to welcome you to the golden age of entrepreneurship. There's so many tools that are available. It's never been easier for business to promote and create themselves, and it's evolving on a weekly and monthly basis. And what's possible today wasn't even thought of a year or two ago. You think about the history. In 1918, the radio was first became commercially available That's not long ago. 1947, that's the year I'm born. I'm the age of television. This is how old television is right here. 1947. 1980, people that are in their 30s were born then. That's the age of the satellite communication. And April 6, 1830 was the first satellite broadcast that the church had, and it was from the Peter Whitmer farm celebrating the restoration of the church. 1980. I see we got great big satellites out here. That's fairly recent. Did you know that LDS.org is only 16 years old? And it's hard for you young people to imagine life before www. But the things that are happening and expanding and growing that are available, and the information that you can learn in such a quick way is really pretty amazing. Also, I want to tell you about the professional organization I belong to. They hire some expensive, high-end economic advisors to forecast and give us an idea in our industry what's coming. And I listened to a 3-hour presentation by a fellow by the name of, his name is Alan Ballou. He's from a company called ENTR Economics, and they've been doing economic forecasts since 1985, and they don't miss. They talked about one time they missed a projection by 0.5%. These guys are right on. They have a staff of about 27 people, and all they do is study data and make predictions what's going to happen. Let me share with you just in a nutshell what they said is coming. 2014, they suspect a slight economic turndown. These are for in the United States, and I assume that other places might be the same. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, boom, boom, go-go times are coming. This is great news for entrepreneurs. So you have this whole next year to put together a business, and into the future are going to be great opportunities ahead for strong economic growth. I've been in the residential plumbing business and running a business for my whole life. And about 7 years ago, I sold the family business and did nothing for a while. And I didn't like doing nothing. And I know Brother Tanner here. He's a perfect example of getting out of industry and doing something really worthwhile. And so I think that's terrific. But what I did is I went to work for another growing young plumbing company. We're in the residential. He's in the residential drain cleaning business, and a very successful guy. And worked for him for a while. And then after doing that for a while and learning his model and all that, about 3 years ago, I decided to start my own company, copying. You think about this. So here I'm in my 60s, and so I've had all this experience. Another word for experience is multiple failures. And I've had all this experience, and then being able to, like a cafeteria, pick the most profitable and the best parts of the industry that I'm familiar with, and put in a very narrow scope, and to figure something out. And but we did try to do an air conditioning business. We found it difficult to make the phone ring for a reasonable amount. The regulations in the state of California are pretty difficult, which increases the cost, and decided to get back to what I know best, which is in the plumbing business. And we picked something you would say, wow, that just sounds like a really uninteresting, awful business that you selected to be in. But we're in the residential drain cleaning business. Wow, is that just really sounds exciting? You can hardly wait to get in there and do that, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you think about it, is people in the recession times are willing to do without. They're willing to do without all sorts of things, except the bathroom plumbing. That better work. I don't care what the economy is going on. That better work. So it's a great industry to be in if you want to make sure that you have work and opportunities going all along. And since it's in a residential, it's not in the cyclical part of a new construction boom and then bust and then boom and bust. It's more even going. And so what the initial capital investment for this particular program, it was $100,000. Well, you say, well, $100,000, you know, that's a lot of money. Well, it is. And what happens when you're able to get more money? Things can happen quicker. They can happen quicker good, and they can happen quicker bad. So, having had the experience and putting together the best pieces of the model of the business, then it happened good pretty fast. And also, I'm a big believer of you don't have to invent everything yourself. Just doing good business is a lot about copying other people. I believe in networking, and we have these networks with companies that are across the United States, and we share information. Usually businesses don't want to share information with a competitor down the street. That's understandable, but you know, the guy in Kansas or in New York or in some place that's a long ways away from you, and you know, we have a number of these things. I believe in mentors and finding people and sharing information. It's amazing how fast you can grow a company when you don't have to invent every single thing and test and try and fail and just and pool together, because whatever you do well is something that somebody else doesn't do well, and vice versa. And when you put together people that you can network together, you know, you can rise quicker as a group than you can by yourself. I like the NASCAR races and watching the cars go around the circle. And the fact is that 2 cars or 3 cars can do a faster lap time around Daytona than 1 car by himself. There's more. They share energy and go around together. So I'm a big believer in networking and extending yourself and making phone calls and how can I help you and how can you help me and what's the best this, what's the best that. It's a great way to be, and you make great friendships. So 2010, in the city of Orange County, I rented a 1,200 square foot building with no furniture. Had a computer and a printer and a cell phone, and got a couple lines from AT&T. Put some advertisements out in the newspaper. Had 3 old beater plumbing trucks, and I put the marketing in place. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but I had several pieces of marketing, and I said, okay, on June 5th, you know, we didn't buy a company, we just started from scratch. I said, okay, on June 5th, 2010, the phone's going to ring. So I hired 3 guys, let them know, had the trucks, and June 5th, the phone rang. We had a few calls that day, and it went on. And so from that time forward, we were able to, you know, the calls increased. We learned what advertising worked, what doesn't work, and we're able to move forward. And to fast forward to today, so 2013 will be the 3rd full calendar year of Rooter Hero Plumbing, and we look like we're going to do $10 million this year. So that's impresses me to be able to do that. Last year was our 2nd full year in business, and we did $6 million. This is all at 20% net. So that's probably the hardest part. Owning your own business is not for everyone. You know, it takes all kinds of people, and you know, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just different. I mean, you've been around enough, you know people. Everybody's different. Everybody wants different sorts of things. I have many friends that the most important things to them, they have a wife, they have children, and they want to have security. They don't want to have any risk of downturns. They don't want to be like out of a job. They want to make sure that their health care goes on. And I don't want to make a lot of money. I just want steady. There's absolutely nothing wrong with steady and being able to do that. And I think that's great. For other people, it drives them nuts, like me. I can't stand steady. I want to be able to go and create something and see what can happen. And there are lots of people that are like that. So, you know, and you got to be okay. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be okay with failing. Failing isn't bad. You know, you think about Thomas Edison. I'm sure you guys have heard the story about Thomas Edison. You know, he tried one thing to make the light bulb. It didn't work. What if he quit? You know, here's his attitude: is Thomas Edison found 1,000 ways. He was positive about the fact that he found 1,000 ways that the light bulb wouldn't work. Isn't that great? But the 1,001 way that worked. So he was successfully finding things that didn't work. That's just as important as finding it. That's the road to what works. So you got to be okay with failure. And the people that you hire, If you have this thing and if you grow a company and you have this thing to where, you know, if somebody makes a mistake and there's a big mistake and things are failing, you know, what's the corporate culture about failure? You know, if a guy's doing a good job and he's trying, you know, you got to be okay with it, because out of that failure, you're going to learn things. We have a saying in the company which is welcome all experiences, because in those experiences, whether they're good or bad, are the things that we learn to grow. So, owning a business and doing a business isn't for everybody. But for those of you, and you know who I'm talking about, there's no option. I don't care what happens. I'm going to have a business, and I'm burning to do it. So, in order to do that, if that's you, then what I want to share with you is a foundation with which to build it on. And that foundation is you as an individual. So if you think that it's like, I'm going to create this wonderful business, but I'm going to be making bad decisions in my personal life, no, it doesn't work. If you're making bad decisions in your personal life, you're going to make bad decisions in your professional life. That's all there is to it. So the first thing you've got to start with is you. And so what my wife and I have is, we have some personal non-negotiables. There's 3 of them, and I want to share the non-negotiables that actually builds a foundation for our life, but also builds a foundation for which to build a company on. And this is what I call up here, as you can see behind me, Mike and Diana's 3 non-negotiables that we've talked about, and that's just the way it is. Regardless of this, a non-negotiable is something that's regardless of the circumstances. It's not negotiable. That's just the way it is. It isn't if the sun's shining, if I have a lot of money in my pocket, if things are good. No, it's non-negotiable. It's just the way it is. And here's first non-negotiable, number 1. We decided that we're paying tithing no matter what. We pay tithing first, and my wife and I, the beautiful blonde over here in the corner, I know people say, why would a beautiful woman like that marry you? And then the answer is, I have no idea. But we have this pinky promise that we made with each other, which is, if we get kicked out on the street because everything financially is just absolutely falling apart, we will be kicked out on the street as a full tithe payer. Okay? That's a non-negotiable as a foundation for us. Non-negotiable number 2. Now, this is good for 2 reasons. Personal integrity and honesty. Personal integrity and honesty. Well, that's a good thing to do because it's the right thing to do. But there's also some financial reasons about personal integrity and honesty. You will find as you go into the business that I would say your greatest asset is who you are. People buy from people. They don't really buy from businesses. People buy from people. So if you're the people and you gain a reputation that you're honest. For example, how about this? You know, you've promised to do something and you didn't do it. Well, had a flat tire on the freeway, or this happened or that happened. I forgot. If you forgot, say you forgot. It's okay. Well, do you know about this? And the answer is, no, I don't know about that, but, you know, I can find out. Just tell the truth. And it's interesting. It's been my personal creed for a very long time. But I see as my business career goes on, it's actually become one of my greatest assets. I mean, people will go to work for me, and they'll work their heads off because they know that I'm not going to mess around with their paycheck. I'm not going to do things. I'm not going to be dishonest. I'm not going to promise them one thing and deliver. I mean, I'm telling you, your integrity and your honesty will be your greatest financial asset as years go by. And just be straight up. People are okay with making mistakes. People are not okay with lies. Or you can tell, you know, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not getting the truth from it. It's just a vibe I'm getting from over here. You know, you don't want to be one of those people. So and here's the saying. I wrote this. I want to read it word for word. Think about this. When you're particularly in a selling situation, I mean, man, you want those sales so bad, and you're talking to the client, and you want those sales. So you want to make sure that what you are speaking, the words that are coming out of your mouth, matches what's in your heart. If there's a disconnect there, there's a lack of integrity. If you're telling the potential client one thing, but you're believing something else, no good. You know, you've got to change what you're saying. That's all there is to it. Okay, non-negotiable number 3. Committed lifelong learner. I don't know any big successful business guy that isn't a voracious reader, or these days, iPod listener, to business books. There's so many great business books that just continue to come out. Now, I did provide to Brother Tanner, there's a list of suggested reading material that, there is something that will be handed out through Canvas that you guys will have access to. And what it is a 4-page Word document with things that I think were valuable to me. Now, you can look at that, and it's electronically, so you can click on it. It takes you to the website, and you can decide what you want to do with it. But be a lifelong learner. And things are all, particularly in this day and age, you can't just say, well, I graduated from college and I know everything I need to know, and so that's just the way it is. I'm done learning. It's kind of the graduation from here is the beginning. They teach you how to think here. They teach you a lot of great and wonderful things, and they teach you how to do research. And when you get out of here, that's just that's the start for lifelong learning, and that's a non-negotiable that my wife and I have for number 3. And some of the people I work with, you get in their car, hey, let's go get some lunch. You get in the car, turn the key on, and there's some sort of motivational, something about leadership. John, a partner I work with, that's the way it is. It's in his car. That's the way it is in my car. So you're always, it's like, always, I need to have information coming into my head. And particularly today, and with the traveling that I do, is most everything, books I read, I don't read, I listen to. All this stuff is available for audible.com and through different places, and download it, and it's like a Kindle, you can have it read to you, you can make notes. So there's no reason today not to have full of information. So you are your best asset. So you build a great foundation, and then you start pumping in learning about what you want to do, and these are the keys to success. Now, let's talk about business and the creating of this business. From my experience, I realized that the name of the company is a big deal. A name of your company, it's something to be taken very seriously, something not to rush into, something to think about, something to do, test market with, to spend a lot of time on the name. My experience is you got a company with a great name and is run poorly, it can do okay. Vice versa, you have a great run company and a bad name, it's hard to get past for all sorts of reasons. And names are really important today. And it can really make or break you. So you can test it with people and come up with it. Not only just a name, but there's also a thing called the tagline. What goes along with it? Aaron's sister and my other cousin, her name's Sunny, she has a hearing aid business, and so she bought this business called South Bay Hearing. Well, it didn't have much of a tagline, and so she and I thought about it, and I gave her this. South Bay Hearing, where miracles happen every day. Wow. Cool. I want a miracle. Baby boomers need hearing aids, and, I want a miracle. Those sorts of things happen. Or you can shout it out. What's Nike's tagline? Just do it. Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't eat one. That's a little bit older. How about McDonald's? I'm loving it. BMW is what? The ultimate driving machine. American Express, don't leave home without it. Apple, think different. M&M's, what happens to M&M's? They melt. They melt in your mouth and not in your hand. So I'm thinking of the name of my very exciting residential drain cleaning company that just gets you just all in a frenzy because it seems such an awesome business to do. In my neck of the woods in Southern California, there's a word that indicates clearing stoppages, and that word is rooter. Now that's not true everywhere. Maybe from where you are, you never heard R-O-O-T-E-R. So I didn't want to have it be Joe Blow's Plumbing or Mike West Plumbing. We wanted to have a very narrow focus. It had to have the word rooter in it. Now you can have all sorts of names, and it could be. Problem is if it's like we started in Orange County. You want Orange County rooter? Well, what happens when you want to go to Arizona? So having a name or location or southwest or northwest, not a good idea. And, or having, Mike West Rooter. Well, who cares about Mike West? I tell you, clients don't care about you. They care about them. What can you do for me? That's something you got to remember. So it's like, so when you think about it, that people think about when the bathroom plumbing isn't working, it was who cares about bathroom plumbing yesterday, but today it's the most important thing in my life, and it needs to be fixed today. It needs to go away, and it's an emergency. And I don't want to spend a lot of money, and I need to have somebody come here right away, and they need to save me from this awful mess that I have in my bathroom. And I need somebody that's kind of like that's a hero that's going to come and save this damsel from distress and this mess. And they need to fly here, and they need to get here right away, and they need to be clean and neat, and they need to be honest, and they need to swoop in, and they need to make everything go away. And what kind of a rooter do they need? They need a rooter hero. Whoosh. Think about, what I'm going to share with you is I'm going to share my thinking in coming up with this so that you could use it in whatever you're doing. So a hero is somebody that, they just show up. You're in distress, and the superhero just shows up. They're there. They like boom, boom. They just take care of things, and whoosh, off they're gone. You ever seen a dirty superhero? No, they're neat, clean, they're educated. They say yes, ma'am. They're polite. They do great things. So and also that when you're in the service business, there's somebody that's going to be going to their home. Well, you got the cartoon character up here, and the cartoon character actually was a lot of thought put into this cartoon character. What he looked like. One of my first rendition of him, he was a great big burly guy with hairy arms and kind of like I called him, hey, how you doing? So we got a Tom, hey, how you doing? Down to a guy that's got a big honking smile. He's got a little catch light in his eyes. He's got that thumbs up. He's got muscles, but he's not overbearing. He's got that tool. There's some magic in that toolbox, and he's grinning. And if you look real close at the logo up there, see right there? He popped those buttons. He's got there's something underneath there. Boom! He's going to come out and he's going to save your day. Okay? There it is, right there. Yeah, kind of like that. Ooh, there's something underneath there. There's magic in that toolbox. He's got the thumbs up. He's got that hat on, and he's grinning. And you take a look at the name. What's big in the name? Rooter Hero. There's your hero up there, ma'am. He's the guy who's going to save your day. In little tiny letters, because remember, we're focusing on drain cleaning, so it's Rooter Hero, tiny words, plumbing. So it took a while to get to this point. And I'm saying all this because there was a lot of thought that went into something that looks like didn't take much time at all. And I would say this, and also take a look at the tagline that's across the top. And you got to think about the generations. There's the GI generation, which is my dad's age. I'm a baby boomer, and there's X and there's Y. And every generation likes to be communicated with a little different. They have different experiences. Well, a lot of our clientele are baby boomers. And the baby boomers know what here to save your day means. That's from in their past, and so that's a hero that's going to come and save their day. Now, that may not mean anything to Gen X or Y, but to think about who's your target market. How do you communicate to the age group and the demo that you want to communicate to? So, in doing this, there's some positive things. Okay, I got this great name. Well, is that great name? You got to have a website. So, is that great name that you come up with? Is it available? Oh, yeah. Go in here. www. Rooter Hero. Nobody's got it. Okay, so if somebody's got your name and your domain, then you've got to think about maybe doing something else because, and a great domain name is short. You don't want to have Mike West Plumbing in Orange County, WeDoStoppages.com, you know, that's just forget it. It's just crazy. It's too long. So you've got to think about that. And is the domain available? It needs to be short. And something else to think about too is that in the state of California in the United States, you have to register your name with the Secretary of State. Well, if somebody else has that name, well, then you're stuck. You have to do the research and find out about it. In my case, everything was available. And here's something I've learned by failure and past experience from other companies I've created. I created another company and had a domain, but here's what I found out. That one of my competitors took the name and misspelled it and bought it. So if people were looking for me, they typed it and they misspelled it, boom, it went to his website. That failure led me to, when I bought Rooter Hero, I bought Rooter Hero spelled every which way possible. Rooter Hero Plumbing, Rooter Heroes Plumbing, Rooter Heroes with ES, Rooter Hero with, you know, without the E, just the S. And also something I found out as far as SEO, which we'll talk about in a second. When you buy your domain, don't buy it for a year, buy it for 5 years. When Google, when the crawlers go out there looking at your website, they look at all this stuff. So if you have a website that's registered for 5 years and Google says, oh, these people are committed, they're going to be here for a while, that makes them a little bit more important. Just a little tiny small thing. And okay, so next slide. I want to show you something. Take a look. Take a look at these fast food companies. You notice anything in common? All the colors are the same, aren't they? These are big, smart companies. Why are the colors the same? Well, I think there's a couple reasons. Go ahead. Red is the first color you see. Yeah, red is a color that stands out. I think one of the reasons is, like when you go to an area where they're selling cars, you know, like car dealers like to be by themselves. When there's restaurants, they like, you know, this kind of like, I'm going to go there to buy a car, I'm going to go to this area to buy. And I think there's some similarity here, but let me tell you what I think maybe the reason is. I think maybe the reason is this. What do you think? This, this, ketchup, mustard, food, hungry. I want more of this. I'm going to go here to put some of this on. Colors make a difference. Colors make a difference. I mean, we could put Denny's, and there's a lot of them, and I think that's what's going on. So I had to think about choosing colors. Okay, I got a name, I got a domain, I registered it with the Secretary of State. Okay, I got the domain spelled wrong. Got them for 5 years. Now it's like, okay, now it's time to get into logo creation, and particularly, you know, what colors are. So I did the same thing that these food companies did, and so I thought about, well, who are my competitors? These are very large companies. This one on the bottom, there's $500 million a year company in the United States, Rescue Rooter. Roto-Rooter is another one. They've got 250 franchises across the United States. Mr. Rooter does, and Roto-Rooter is just bigger than everybody. You notice, why are all their colors the same? Would it make sense for me to be some other color? I don't know exactly the reason, but my guess is blue is like water. Plumbers, they have to do with water. Red is eye-catching. And the fact is, and here's something that I figured out, is that, you know, people don't pay a lot of attention to the ad sometimes. If they see the color, they've seen the truck. And I know lots of times we've gotten calls because they think we're Rescue Rooter because of the, you know, they look the same. And we're happy to answer the phone and go out there and take care of these people better than they've ever been taken care of before. So that was a reason for going into this, was I want them to look more like that. And colors are important. And as far as the design of the logo, the technology is great. I actually didn't pay a lot for this. I hired some lady, a graphic designer in the Philippines, and when I was awake, she was asleep, and it took a while. We went back and forth, and I'm pretty happy with what we got up there. There's, you know, you familiar with crowdsource? You ever heard of crowdsource? We got a nod up here. Another one is, a newer one is called Design Crowd. And what these kind of websites are is that if you commit to spend X amount of money, and maybe $500 and maybe $1,500, whatever it is, I commit to spend this amount of money, then what they'll do is they might have 100 or 200 designers that will throw designs, and you pick the best one and you pay the money. That's pretty cool as far as getting a lot of ideas of how that works. So I would recommend that. In building a website, you know, there's a number of platforms to build it on. I think my recommendation was you build it on WordPress and not on some of the other ones, and it makes it much easier. It's more well known, and it's SEO friendly, and it works great. And also, when you're building a website, here's absolutely critical: the website must be mobile friendly. Particularly for, you know, in this room, all you guys are looking for stuff on your phones or your tablets. Yes, sir. In 5.
5 minutes to go.
Okay, thank you. So, as far as things to think about, as far as marketing, how we went to market. Here's how we went to market right here. We went to market with an offer. You notice the name is small and the offer's big. They don't care about me; they care about them and their problem. And in our technology, we'd be able to get out there and we'd get a camera in the line and show people what's going on, and that's how we do our business. In addition to mail, we would do some direct mail with like Money Mailer. We put some ads in newspapers, and the third leg of the stool was pay-per-click. If you don't know about pay-per-click, I would suggest you learn about pay-per-click. What it is that you pay to have your ad on the right-hand side of the when you're doing a Google search for whatever it is, and you can pay to have it there. And there's lots of pay-per-click companies, and you guys have a guy here that knows a lot more about it than I do, Paul Wilson, and Paul can answer all your questions about this. But pay-per-click is really important. Pay-per-click is like hunting, and SEO, which is like farming, which is a slow process which will organically drive your website up to the top, and they're both very, very important. In our business, I wanted to talk about the design and marketing, and not so much about how we actually run our business, but in which we've talked about. And I would say that you know what's possible on the website to generate business, and through YouTube. You know, we just in June we hired a digital marketing director that spends her time creating a Google Plus. Google Plus, if you're going to do pay-per-click advertising, it's maybe you don't use Google Plus, but for marketing you better get a Google Plus account. Facebook. And well, if you think about it, Google is the one that decides how the algorithm works, and they own Google Plus, so it makes sense, right? They're going to see to it that Google Plus works, and so that's a great way to do it. And I would suggest that you work on finding something that where you can serve people and help people. And if you're doing it with honesty, integrity, and you're finding a way to serve people, you will find a way to make money and be profitable. And the object is to go and to create businesses where you can create wealth for yourself and families, and you can, in the process of learning how to be an honest businessman, all that is completely translatable into being in a bishopric and helping build the kingdom. They go really well together. So I will stop there and say thank you very much, and look forward to questions that you have. Okay, no questions.
Tell us a little bit about your process. You were talking about coming up with the tagline. Did you try out different taglines, or did something just ring true to a small group of friends?
It originally was here to save the day, and I talked to a marketing guru guy by the name of John Young that does work for large service industry, and he said, Make it more personal. You're not saving that day. Make it that you're saving the client's day, saving your day. So that's good. Taglines are really important. The logo is really important, how look and the feel of it. And here, one other thing in regards to that is, think about the people that are going to work for your company that are going to have your business card, or they're going to have their name on their shirt. You know, you want to have a name that they're going to be proud of, and they're stoked to put it on, and they feel good about wearing it. Right back here, the hat. That's a great question. Here's a question he asked. He said, did I do any like focus groups, or what did I do to test the logo with other people? I didn't do any. What I did is I used family and friends, and I used email, and I sent it out, and you know, to maybe 20 different people, and I got some good feedback that way, and which helped me refine it. Yes, sir.
Were you the original one to start working on the website, or did you hire out right away?
Well, the website that we have today actually got launched Friday. There's bugs in it today. So when we originally started 3 years ago, it's kind of clunky and funky and wasn't made for expandability and growth, and certainly was not mobile friendly. So, but no, I didn't. That's not one of my many skills, is designing websites. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Scalability, to repeat the question, scalability and to be able to grow it was something absolutely, it was part, that's why it wasn't Southwest Plumbing or, you know, Orange County Plumbing or something like that. It was something that would fit anywhere.
So, as you're doing all this, you have an exit strategy, or do you not even believe in exit strategy?
No, quite frankly, I mean, we're very public and open about this. This is going back to the information I gave you at the beginning from Alan Ballou about what's going to happen in the economy. We want to grow it as big as we can. We want to be at 50 million by 2018 and sell it. Maybe 2017, and sell it to a private equity fund and then work for them. That's our goal. Yes? What do I say about networking? I'm not sure I understand the question, but you want to help on multi-level marketing? Oh, as far as like, I see. So, I mean, like New Skin or those sorts of kinds of companies? That works good for in-home products and things, but for our particular industry, it's more adaptable to franchise or something like that, but not multi-level for our industry. Yes, sir.
How do you differentiate yourself from national companies that consider
How do we set ourselves apart from Mr. Reuter and those other national companies? A lot of the things that we do like them. We are copying the things about them. Some of it is going to be in the message and how we do the message, and just really trying to do business. The fact is, we do the same thing. So it's we try to do that through a different brand. And let me say this: that this is really important. Is that never before in my lifetime has Joe Blow, Mr. Public Average Guy, had a voice like today. I mean, when a customer complains, and you better pay attention to Yelp. I don't like Yelp, but they're the big giant in the room, and we have to deal with them. We have to, you know, I don't think they're fair to us all the time. They filter reviews that are good and positive, but pay attention to Yelp and those reviews. And so what we do, if we have a customer that's unhappy, we do whatever it takes to make them happy, because their voice they're a little tiny voice, but they can make things bad for you. So, which I think is great for the client, because clients get taken care of in our company 100%. Yes, sir. The question is what motivates to keep on going once you reach a certain financial level? Yeah, that's true. Some people just want to retire and play golf. Or I believe that success is not a destination, but it's a journey. It's a daily progression towards worthy ideals. And when you stop, then you stop succeeding. And I feel great about the fact that today we have 50-some employees that are supporting their family that weren't 3 years ago. I like to be able to provide a great and decent, we're a faith-based operation. We're not shy about saying that. We have a code of values that we live by, and that we hire people that have their own personal code of values. Like I said, if they're making bad decisions at home, they're making bad decisions at work. We don't want to hire people that are making bad decisions. We want to take good people and make them better. We're a learning organization. We have book club every Thursday at 7 a.m., and everybody's required to be on the phone, and we read a book together out loud for an hour every Thursday from 7 to 8, no matter what. And over the period of years that go by, everybody's learning and growing and appreciating. And it isn't just about business making money, it's about personal growth and development, how to be a better human being. Are we good? Yeah, that was a question about how do we test market the name. Well, first of all, the name was available, which I was pretty excited about. It was just a matter of what I did is I called a lot of people and saw how they felt about it. It's, after that, I didn't hire a focus group. Okay, so we're right about the hour. Thank you.